It's the picture that sums up all the madness in our country. One of the illegals who wailed on two NYPD officers in Times Square and got no bail, flipping not one, but two birds as he walked out of court. The 22-year-old illegal giving two middle fingers to the country that welcomed him in. He's one of the 7 migrants arrested for the cop beatdown. So let me get this straight. He strolls across the border, was given free shelter, beat up cops, and suffered no consequences. And this is how he thanks us. And his other cop-beating buddies were just as gracious, seen blowing kisses and smiling after they left court. And there was another delightful bird sighting. But it looks like liberal leaders are done being embarrassed by the ungrateful illegals. New York Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Mayor Eric Adams are ready to send these bird-flipping migrants south for the winter.
In response to police searching for additional suspects in the Times Square attack on police?
Get them all and send them back.
All right,
You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody.
Those who are breaking our laws, we need to re-examine the laws that don't allow us to deport them.
But some have already flown the coop. New York Post reporting police believe 4 of the criminals have already hopped on a bus to California. They allegedly gave fake names to a nonprofit that helps migrants get out of the city. Judge Janine, if you were representing one of these illegals, would you recommend the double bird?
Well, let me tell you this. If I were representing them, it would be in my next life.
I was going to say, it would be a cold day and you know where.
Let me just put it this way. You're talking about flipping the bird, the middle finger. The mayor, the DA, the president, and the governor are all flipping us the middle finger. And I'll tell you why. The first problem is Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg didn't ask for any bail. These are Class C violent felonies. You can get bail. He didn't ask for bail. I want to know why. Number 2, why didn't Alvin Bragg put this case in the grand jury so they could have been arraigned in Superior Court and had bail set, and then they wouldn't have gone to California? That's where Alvin Bragg screwed up. Then you got Governor Hochul. Governor Hochul says, yeah, now it's a good idea after a reporter asked her. What I want to hear from the governor is this. I'm putting it in my governor's legislative package, and I want the legislature to vote on deportation, okay? The mayor is a former cop. I don't want to hear him just talking and talking. What he's got to do is call the DA and say, what are you doing and why are you not asking for bail? And in addition to that, the mayor should be headlining an effort to make the assault of a police officer an offense for which they can call in ICE. Because New York is a sanctuary city, you can only call in ICE on certain crimes. If the mayor really meant what he's saying, he could say, today, I want the council to change and include assault on a police officer. That's a fix there. Now, the problem with Joe Biden and his giving us the middle finger is the border. And Texas has just proved it. Since the end of January, Texas, because of its border and because of what they're doing to prevent them from coming in, they've got a huge drop in immigration, and it's all coming in now through Arizona and California. And let me say one more thing about this. These, I don't even want to call them people because they're not people. These people come here and they say they want asylum, and we suckers believe it. They don't respect authority. They take authority down. One of the other ones we didn't know about yesterday was charged with resisting arrest. He pushed a cop last time a cop arrested him, in addition to their beating down the arrest. So I'm sick and tired of hearing this nonsense. They traveled 3,000 miles through the Darien Gap. It's one of the most dangerous places in the world because they want to be part of the American dream. Baloney. They don't want to be part of the American dream. They don't want to swear allegiance. They don't show up for their asylum hearing. And 85% of them who do don't get asylum.
Richard, why won't Democrats deport people like this?
I think they're trying to.
What do you mean they're trying to?
Listen, I'm going to tell you why. I mean, look, I agree with everything the judge said.
Again.
And we agree. Hey, listen. But here's what we know to be true. If you talk to the folks in Senator Kristen Sinema's office, which she briefed the press a couple of days ago, there's a border bill that the Democrats and Republicans are working to get done that would secure the border. It would end folks who cross. If you cross illegally, you would go immediately to jail, and then you would be immediately deported. It would It would allow the federal government to buy planes to do faster deportations, right? It would hire more border personnel. It would increase the amount of immigration judges. So right now, if somebody's seeking asylum in this country and they get a notice to go to court, they don't see a judge until 2027. This bill would speed that up. Sadly, given all of that, we have folks in the House that say they're going to vote no on this just because.
But
and
Joe
that's
Biden
problematic.
is the one who got rid of
But Joe
Remain in
Biden is also-
Mexico.
but Joe Biden
He
is
got
also-
rid of Remain
to be
in
fair-
Mexico.
To be
that
fair,
kept
I'll
them
give
in
you that.
Mexico.
I'll
You got to
that.
give me that.
But the judge also last week in South Carolina, the president said, "Let's secure this border and let's pass
That's
this
big
bill
of
right
it.
now."
He doesn't need Congress. He can do it himself, Richard.
But
Greg
why
Gutfeld,
not have Congress do it?
They don't need to. He can shut it down.
To buy more planes?
He can shut it
To
down
hire more
right
judges?
now,
We're
Richard.
already flying.
To hire more border
All right,
patrol?
listen,
I love that
He can
photo,
shut it
though.
down whenever he wants.
I love that photo. Can we put that up there again? The one that we just had.
There you
That
go.
is a great photo. And I love that we blurred the finger. I think we can handle it. You know, it's not like we're trying to protect the identity of his middle finger. It's not like his finger's underage. I mean, it's true. It's like I think it's important to see the reality of this situation, right? If a picture's worth 1,000 words, that one is worth 10 million. And it's an old adage in television: if you want to see the truth, turn the sound off. I do that with Jesse's show. When you take away all the ranting and the raving and the politics and the grandstanding and the shrieking, you have one singular photo that tells you everything about the basic nature of human behavior. That is, they disrespect you because they can. They disrespect you because you're weak. What you're seeing right there is how far we've gone down this path. There's no disincentives. There's no consequences. It's the land of the free for criminals. The American dream is America reamed when these people come here. And I do think, you know, the busing of the migrants to the sanctuary cities was a brilliant move. The next step is transporting any illegal with a record to the neighborhood of the elites who support these policies, because something tells me these migrants won't be trimming your hedges or doing your dishes.
Dana.
Well, one thing about these guys that escaped, I think it will turn out to be 5 of them, and they used false IDs to get on the buses. So there's another crime. And also, they said they're going to California. Anyone believe they're going to make it all the way to California? Yeah. So now they're going to be in some other place. Welcome to Middle America. And now they've got a problem. Hopefully, they will be too dumb to get off in a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city, and they could call ICE where they could be deported. Unless you think that Joe Biden's the only problem on the border, today, 150 House Democrats voted against deporting illegal immigrants who commit DUIs. So
They voted against that
150
today?
Democrats voted against that today. Now, maybe there's something else in the bill, et cetera, but over and over, Republicans are putting them on record as to what they want and what they believe.
Okay. And if we're going to put anything on record, my show is pretty good with the volume down. Watch it anyway.
You still get the rating.
That's right.
Yeah, because you look great.
Up
Jesse.
next, thank you, Judge. Joe Biden's green jihad gets dumber. The Biden administration is now classifying Martha's Vineyard as low income to pump up his pricey electric vehicle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.